What's going on, guys? Welcome to my first YouTube video of FIFA 21. My name is Aineza and I'm going to be recording my 60-0 custom tactics. So these custom tactics and formations were the ones that got me 30-0 the first weekend league and 30-0 the weekend league that just passed, or that hasn't ended currently right now as I'm recording this video. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, drop a subscribe as well, so you can know when I post in the future as well. I'll be making more videos like this as we go further into FIFA 21. This will be my goal, to sort of grind out my YouTube channel. So just show some support, some love. Just like, even what you guys want to see as well, just let me know in the comments below sometimes. I'll be sure to try and reply to that and try to get out some videos that you guys recommend. But yeah, let's get straight into the custom tactics. So this is the team that pretty much used the first 2 weekend leagues so far. Nothing's really changed, to be honest, with this team. But in regards to the custom tactics and instructions for the first weekend league, which was 2 weeks ago now, I used the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-3-1. We'll go through the 4-4-2 first, and then we'll move over to the 4-2-3-1, and then we'll move over also to the formation and tactics that I used this weekend league to get me top 200 with another 30-0. So 4-4-2, defensive style, I like balanced because I like to manually get up into my opponent's face. It helps me to, because the way I defend pretty aggressively, and I play a switch pretty rapidly as well, so I like to be ahead of my opponent and get up in their face. All these other options, pressure on heavy charge, press after possession loss, constant pressure, and drop back, I wouldn't probably recommend unless it's a different situation you're in. The pressure options are usually mostly used when you're down by a goal or two, things like that. And drop back, I just wouldn't recommend because I don't really like my team being so congested, and then when I win the ball back, I don't want it to be hard to get out for a counter or things like that. Width. So my defensive width, I play on 5. It's just what I've been using for a while now, since FIFA 19, 20. This is what I've been using, and it's just what I've been comfortable with. I don't really mess around with my width. This FIFA though, on my depth, I've been playing 4 depth. I did try out 5 when I had Virgil, and I felt a bit exposed in terms of his lack of pace, his accelerations not that high, so people would get him behind easily for counter attacks. And so I tried out 4 depth, and 4 depth seems to be working for me quite more better now, if that makes sense. Moving on to offensive style, balance as well. I don't really muck around with this type of stuff. Balance just gives you a variety of everything. You can hold the ball if you're a possession type player. You can also play possession. I've tried possession out in 4-4-2, but it's hard to get attacks clicking quicker, if that makes sense. Possession sort of slows it down very the pace of the game, and I feel like when you're on balance, you can choose to hold the ball, or you can counter attack, play quick 1-2s between your attackers and midfields. And so yeah, that's why I play balanced on mine. My offensive width is 5. Don't really mess around with that unless I feel like my opponent is very narrow. I'll probably mess around with that, but other than that, stays 5. Players in the box, pretty much a personal preference, this one. Last year I think I played 5. This year I'm playing 4. I don't really find a difference between 5 and 4. If you guys notice, your center mids and CDMs in the formations this year don't really drop that back that far. So it's not really, it's not really, this plays in the box doesn't really affect it, because your CDMs and center mids will still be higher up the pitch while you're trying to defend counters, which is not ideal. But I'll show you the instructions I have to sort of counter that this year. And so moving to the instructions, as you can see, it's the 4-4-2 flat. We'll start from the defensive line. So my fullbacks stay back while attacking. Everything else is just balanced, and centre backs is just I don't touch as well. My keeper, I got this off another pro, but I generally have him comes for crosses. I don't know, I changed it before, but I think because I changed formations, I forgot to edit it again. Yeah, I'd have him for comes for crosses and sweeper keeper, just because people that play through balls, you need like if you get beaten behind with a triangle or an over the top through ball, you need your keeper to be aware of that. And sometimes your keeper will probably just stay in the net and let the attacker get onto the ball. But a little pressure, like a little bit of pressure from the keeper, as you can see, if you put on sweeper keeper up here, it would actually help for the keeper to, be alert. And sometimes if the ball's over, like if the ball's too far ahead of the attacker that the opponent has set the through ball to, your keeper will come up and sweep it out. Maybe just kick it out like they automatically do and things like that. But that's what I've noticed for the keepers. The instructions on the keepers this year has become more useful than last year, which is pretty sick. Moving into the midfield, on my wide mids, this is what I had when I got my 30-0 last weekend. On my left mid and right mid, which is my Neymar and Mbappe, I had come back on defense and get in the box. I'm probably thinking about trying cut inside as well on these wide mids, but I'm just going to show you guys what I use to get 30-0. So as of right now, that'll be cutting inside. Like cutting inside will be like an experiment for me to like see how it works. But yeah, we had come back on defense, get in the box for the wide mids, and we had stay back while attacking and cover center for the center mids. A little bit of detail on the wide mids. Why I have them on comeback? As I said before, the center mids don't really come back and track that much this year. So I feel like having the wide mids on comeback actually helps with trying to cover and get back quicker on counter attacks, if that makes sense. Because the pace that Mbappe and Neymar have, like they're really fast, right? And the pace their pace is compared to Renato Sanchez and Vieira, if they're not already like in the midfield area, or they get caught up high up the field. They're obviously Neymar and Mbappe will get back further, will get back faster compared to the midfield. So which is why I have these two on comeback on defense, to just help out the defense a little bit. Moving on to the strikers, as you can see, obviously I've put a lot of money into the game. As you can see, not everyone would have R9 at the stage of this FIFA. Many people might have Ronaldo. I've seen a lot of people having CR7, but R9 is a very rare one. What I have on my strikers, this is how I sort of think about it. Target man is usually I think about target man as like the big guy, the guy I want to receive the ball all the time up top. And out of my two strikers, Ronaldo is the bigger guy, right? He's 6'2", he's like strong, he's powerful, and I want him to receive the ball at feet because he's not that fast this year as he was previous years. So I don't want him to be running in behind compared to R9, who has more pace, which I have him on mixed attack, so he can make runs in behind, he can come short, so he sort of mixes it up. But yeah, with CR7 I have him on target man. So what target man does is it gets the attacker to stand in front of the defense. If you've noticed, when they're on mixed attack, they actually run in behind. But when you have them on target man, they stand in front of the defense, ask for the ball to feet, and then you sort of work your way around the defense like that. And R9 just makes like baiting runs to like put off the defense of your opponents. And yeah, that's my 4-4-2 custom tactics that got me 30-0 alongside the 4-2-3-1, which I'll show you next. And yeah, hopefully you guys can try this out. Let me know how it goes in the comments. And yeah, let's move on to the 4-2-3-1 now. Okay, now moving on to the 4-2-3-1. This is where I would say 4-2-3-1 is still the best formation in the game, in my opinion. Most pros will probably agree with you. A lot of people that have played this formation a lot already this FIFA will probably agree with you as well. 4-2-3-1 is just like, it's so stable. You have the two CDMs, you have the cams that you can give instructions to come back and help, and then you have your a lone striker. There's also disadvantages to this. It's not really a disadvantage, but attacking build-up is slower compared to the 4-4-2. You sort of need to work your chances really well, and it's much slower compared to the 4-4-2, as I said, but it's much more stable in defense compared to the 4-4-2, if that makes sense. So going into the tactics, defensive style balanced, just what, as I said on the 4-4-2 as well, this is what I've been rocking all year. Even last year I rocked balanced. It just depends on the situation in the game. If you're down by a couple goals, you would change it, but as the standard defensive style, I've been using balanced. As you can see, the width and depth is the same. I don't really muck around with this. This is generally my width and depth would be the same for most formations, unless I think otherwise. So My width is 5, stays 5 pretty much unless I feel like I need to change it. Depth 4, just to counteract the counter attacks that people might play over through balls to like Werner, who's like cooked this year in terms of pace and how well he gets in behind. So yeah, that's what the depth I use to counteract the counter attacks. Sorry. And then moving on to offensive style. I use balanced here as well, just because the same reason. You can sort of mix it up. You can hold possession. You can quickly attack, counter attacks, and it just helps your players. Like it just helps you and your players sort of get on the same page. So your players. This is the thing about attacking AI. I feel like this year, your players will sort of recognize when you want to have a quick attack. You'll see your wide players start making runs in behind, which you can also trigger yourself with L1 and R1. R1 sort of brings them short, L1 sends them on a run. But they sort of do that better this year compared to last year, where the attacking AI was pretty much non-existent. But yeah, balanced defensive style helps with that. My offensive width 5 again. Players in the box, personal preference 4. You can muck around with this 5. I generally just play 4 to keep it balanced, to keep it even. And corners and free kicks, I didn't really say much about this on the 4-4-2, but this is also personal preference. I keep my corners on 2 because, as I said, counter attacks this FIFA is really strong, so I don't want to get counter attack off a corner if my corner goes wrong. And free kicks, I generally have on 2 as well. Free kicks is a weird one. Like, it's not really a big deal if you have it on max. I mean, as you can see, it probably is. If you're chasing the game, obviously you'd have it on max, but there's no other reason why you would. So between 3 and 2 is fine. But yeah, moving on to the instructions now. So get this right. This is a 4-2-3-1 narrow, by the way. Not many people mention this. This is the narrow 4-2-3-1, not the wide. The wide is where you have the left mid and right mids. This is the 4-2-3-1 narrow. Starting from the back, we have the full backs on stay back. Yeah, stay back while attacking, nothing else. And once again, keeper, I would put on comes for crosses and sweeper keeper as pretty much the same explanation I gave out for the 4-4-2 why I would have that. So the CDM, stay back while attacking and cover center for both. You can sort of, as I said before, the CDMs and center mids don't come back to help DC as much as they would last year, right? Like they don't sit back like as they did firmly last year. Last year was pretty much like a defensive masterclass where you had all your players, if they won't come back or stay back, they would actually sit, which is totally different this year. It's more attacking this year. I think it's more like attacking based, and defending is much harder. You would think you guys probably think that he probably has his cams on comeback, his wide cams on comeback. But you'd be surprised. On the 4-4-2, I have my wide mids on comeback just to counteract the center mids for not coming back. But since this is 4-2-3-1, CDMs are different to center mids, and they'll probably sit a little bit deeper. But I know they don't come back as much this year, but the CDMs actually act better defensively than the center mids in the 4-4-2. So I actually don't have comeback on defense on my wide cams. My middle cam I have on comeback on defense. This is a personal preference. I personally have it to help out with the little gap that may be left in defense in the middle. I don't want to be pulling out my midfield to go chase up the ball higher up the field when I can get my cam and sort of press the opponent's midfield pretty much. I can sort of press with R9, and then you sort of can cut off other parts of the pitch, cut off the lanes of his players and things like that. So yeah, that's why I would have to come back on defense on my middle cam. My wide cams I have on get in the box. This sort of helps with the players coming in from wide areas to help out in like scoring positions. So like if you have this on get in the box, if you have your wide cams on get in the box, you'll notice that your wide cam, they'll come in to the box and start attacking the fullbacks, and then they'll help out. And my striker, stay central target man. As I said, in the 4-4-2 tactics, the bigger man is obviously best at target man. Although I feel like mixed attack this year is actually not bad. If I was to run something else other than target man, I'd probably run mixed attack. Getting behind, I generally wouldn't run. Yeah, to getting behind, I generally wouldn't run because even when I have target man, CR7 still makes in behind runs. Like he'll make a little in behind run and then he'll stop and come back, sort of like baiting the defense to make them think, oh, he's gonna run behind, but no, he comes back, comes to feet, receives the ball, and things like that. So yeah, this is my 4-2-3-1 custom tactics. So this 4-2-3-1 tactics and instructions and my 4-4-2 both combined got me 30-0 in the first weekend league for FIFA 21. So I thought, why not make a video on this? A lot of people have been asking for my custom tactics and instructions, but the next formation and instructions, the next formation and tactics and instructions, sorry, is probably one of the surprising ones that I never thought would be so good this FIFA. I saw another pro try and get 30 with it, so I was like, oh, I might as well give it a go because we already hit 30. We've got, so that's verification done. The pressure of getting 30 is done. So I was like, oh, might as well do it myself. This is gonna be a surprising one, but trust me, this formation is very, very underlooked. It is such a powerful formation if you get the instructions and tactics right. That's enough for me talking about it. Let's get into the tactics and instruction for that one. So this is the 4-5-1 flat, guys. Yes, I've said it, the 4-5-1 flat. As you can see, nothing really changes in terms of defensive style and offensive style, in terms of width and depth as well. I still rock the balanced on the defensive style, 5 width, 4 depth. Again, 5 balanced on the offensive style, and then 5 width and 4 players in the box. As I said, corners and free kicks are personal preference. So always players in the box. I generally don't want too many players getting in the box because I sort of work my build up a bit slower. I sort of like to slice the opponent open, try to create a 100% chance, if that makes sense, because of how good AI blocks is this FIFA. You sort of need to create the perfect chance. But yeah, let's get into the instructions. This is a very, very unique formation. Not many people use this. I tried it out because I felt like, why not give it a go? I saw another pro hit 30 with it. If you don't know who he is, his name is Tug. Actually, I met him in the first Futchampshighlights Cup of FIFA 20. He's an awesome person. But yeah, I scout people's streams, and I sort of see, oh, what are these guys using? Maybe I can try it out for myself. And I just found this one to be very surprisingly good. It was so good. But that's enough of me just ranting on about it. Let's get into the instructions. So this is the 4-5-1 flat, guys. So this is 4-5-1 second variation. Don't get it wrong with the 4-5-1 with the 2 cams, which is the first variation. I know a lot of people get confused with that. So let's get into the instructions. Fullbacks, as always, stay back while attacking. My keeper, I'd have him comes for crosses. This is not me changing it now. I actually had my keeper on this. It's just because when I edited my tactics, it went back to default. So yeah, my fullbacks will stay back while attacking. Wide mids, this is where the magic happens. Wide mids, come back on defense, cut inside, and get in the box for crosses. It feels like a lot, right? It looks like, damn, that's a lot of instructions to put on wide mids. But I'm telling you right now, I got 30-0 with these instructions, and these instructions are unbelievable. Come back on defense helps, to avoid counter attacks down the wings. You can sort of bring back your wide mids and defend with them. Cut inside and get in the box is it's an amazing. Cut inside especially is an amazing instruction this year. They don't just sit out wide, if you get what I mean. They are always, whenever you got the ball in the middle, they'll come inside and help out to help R9. Obviously R9's up top by himself, right? Look how much by looking at the formation, it looks like he has no help at all, right? But the instructions is where it makes it easier for you to attack. It's still a slower build up, but it makes it easier for you to attack with your attackers. Sort of bringing them cut inside and getting into the box together will help Mbappe and CR7 to give the attacking option for R9 when he really needs it, or even bait the line, bait the runs. Just something to put off the defense so that you can create a chance for you to score. Getting into my center mids. Right center mid is Renato Sanchez on stay back and cover center. My middle center mid, stay back, cover center as well. So it's Vieira. So pretty much your middle center mid would act as your DM. It's this formation is pretty similar to the 4-1-4-1 in terms of shape, but it probably plays a little bit different. I haven't tried the 4-1-4-1, so I wouldn't really know that much. But I have a feeling it'll be a little bit different, just because the center mid will turn into a CDM and sit a bit deeper. But moving on to Neymar, this is the instruction I love on Neymar. Free roam. You get free roam and cover center. You can see nothing else besides free roam and cover center. He pretty much constructs the whole attack for us. If that makes sense. He free roam, he does it in real life, right? And pretty much what he does in real life, he does for you in this formation. He gets forward, he makes runs, he puts off the defense, he can skill, he can pass, he can do it all. Pretty much, right? And the thing is, I don't rely on Neymar to defend. He will generally come back when I'm defending with my other players. So it's funny, yeah? He'll act like a cam in a centre mid. If that makes sense. The free roam gives him the freedom to act like a cam and just attack the final third, and just, just construct the whole attack and get us going, things like that. Like, this free roam, it's a killer. It's a killer, man. You guys need to try this. As I said again, wide mids come back, cut inside, get in the box. And striker, this has just been my main instructions on most of my strikers. Stay true and target man. It's just my go-to now since last year. Target man has just been unreal. After been testing out a few things, it's just target man's been the go-to right now. But as you can see, right, it looks like R9's isolated up top by himself. But as I showed you, the instructions make it like he's not. Like with the wide mids and Neymar sort of free roam, pretty much acts like a cam, so he just pretty much sits behind R9 most of the time. And also, you can also have mixed attack, getting behind and things like that on this. But I wouldn't recommend it because R9's up top by himself, right? And you're bringing up the ball from midfield. If you have him a mixed attack and he's making runs when you don't need him to, because he's like the only attacker up top, it's a bit hard for you to construct your attack out of defense. You want to have him a target man so you can come to feet. You can trigger the runs yourself, which is what I generally do. I love triggering runs myself instead of letting the AI just run whenever he wants, because it just puts us off the same wavelength, if that makes sense. Yeah, so like I pretty much just love target man on all my strikers. It just makes the attack more fluid and just more liquid. But yeah, I hope this video has helped you guys out. I hope I answered a lot of your questions that you guys have been asking about my custom tactics and instructions. I know a lot of you really like watching me stream as well. I stream all my games, actually, not even most, all my games of Weekend League. Sometimes I stream during the week, some different rivals. I'll also be streaming rewards as well. I'll drop my link down below, my Twitch link, and I just let me know how you guys go with these instructions. These are 60 custom tactics and instructions. We're yet to lose a game in Weekend League. I hope these instructions help you guys improve your game. And if there's any other thing you guys want me to make a video on, just let me know. Drop a comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like down below and subscribe. Get that subscribe on. You get a notification when I release a video. And we're just I'm trying to grind out this content thing as well. This is my first time doing this type of thing. I'll be doing more of these type of videos in the near future. And there'll be more like content on this channel, and I just be tuned, to stay tuned. Follow, subscribe, whatever you gotta do to keep up with me. Just do whatever you gotta do, and trust me, I won't disappoint. I'll do my best to get videos out regularly, and yeah, appreciate the support, man. Peace out.